Hello, Primary 6. How are you today? I hope you are fine. Are you ready for the second term, my friends? Okay. Today, we are gonna to talk about Unit 1, Lesson 1. Unit 1, Lesson 1. And our lesson is called Types of Levers. Types of Levers. From long time ago, man invented many simple machines. Why? To help him perform heavy tasks more easily. One of the most common simple machines are levers that were first described in 260 before Christ by the Greek scientist called Archimedes. So, if you look at the following pictures, then regard the common properties among them. The first picture is wheelbarrow. This nutcracker and scissors. What are the common properties among them? Let's see. We can observe that all the previous tools share in the following. First, number 1, they consist of a rigid bar. The rigid bar can be straight or curved, like this. So, this is the rigid bar. Number 2, there is an effort force exerted by person to equilibrate the resistance force. There is an effort force exerted by a person to equilibrate the resistance force. Number 3, there is a fixed point that the bar rotates around it called fulcrum. So the fixed point is called fulcrum. So first we must know what is the meaning of lever. Lever, it is a rigid bar, straight or curved, that rotates around a fixed point called fulcrum and is affected by an effort force and a resistance force. So again, lever means it's a rigid bar. The rigid bar can be straight or curved that rotates around a fixed point called fulcrum and is affected by an effort force and a resistance force. The structure of lever. Any lever consists of 3 main parts. Number 1, resistance force. 2, an effort force. 3, fulcrum. The resistance force is the force resulted from the body that we want to move. The resistance force, again, resistance force is the force resulted from the weight of the body that we want to move. An effort force, it is the force that exerted by a person to equilibrate the resistance. Fulcrum, it is the fixed point where a bar rotates around. It's a fixed point where the bar rotates around it. So, this is an effort force, fulcrum, resistance force. Resistance force, the force comes from the weight of the body you want to move. Fulcrum is a fixed point. Effort force, the force existed by a person to equilibrate the resistance. Examples for levers: seesaw, crowbar, manual broom, bottle opener, stapler, scissors. So there are some examples of levers. And nutcracker. The importance of levers. Levers are very important in our life. Why? Because they make the tasks performed made be easily by doing one or more of the following function. So the importance of levers are: number one, increasing force. Number two, increasing distance. Levers can increase speed, moving force from one place to another. Accuracy in performance. Accuracy in performance. Avoid danger. Avoid danger. Increasing force. Some levers save the exerted effort by using a small force to move heavy load. So, number one, increasing force. Some levers save the exerted effort by using a small force to move heavy loads, like crowbar and nutcracker. We can use a nutcracker or a crowbar to exert effort by using a small force to move heavy loads. Number two, increasing distance. Increasing distance. Some levers allow exerting force for small distance to move an object for a longer distance, like a manual broom. Your hand moves a small distance at the upper part of the broom, while its lower part moves a longer distance, as we see in this picture. Number three, increasing speed. Increasing speed. Some levers increase the speed of object that we inflict on, like hockey bat. The hockey bat increase the speed of the pole. Number four, moving force from one place to another. So we can use some levers to move force from one place to another, like the manual broom. The force of your hand moves from one place to another to collect the garbage without bending. Number five, accuracy in performance. Accuracy in performance. Some levers are used to pick up very small objects, like tweezers. So we can use tweezers to accuracy in performance. Number six, avoid dangers. We can avoid dangers by using some levers like cool holder or ice holder. Some levers are used to pick up the hot, cold, and poisonous materials by using cool holder or ice holder to avoid dangers. If I ask you, give reason, the crowbar is considered as an increasing force lever. Why? Because it used to move heavy loads by using a small effort force. Doctors and watchmakers use tweezers as a lever. Why? Because it is used to pick up very small objects. Types of levers. Types of levers. Levers are classified into three types according to the location of effort force, resistance force, and fulcrum. There are three types of levers. Number one, first class levers, second class levers, third class levers. First class levers, they are the most popular type of levers in our daily life. They are the most common type of levers in the daily life. The first class lever. And what's the meaning of the first class levers? They are levers that have the fulcrum O between the effort force F and the resistance force R. So in the first class levers, The fulcrum is between the effort force and the resistance force. Like that. Fulcrum in the middle between the effort force and resistance force. Some example for the first class levers: scissors, nail clippers, paddle, hammer, seesaw, and crowbar. There are the first class levers, and they are very popular in our daily life. So each of scissors, pillars, pincers, and nail clippers are composed of two first class levers. Paddle is a first class lever. Why? Because it has the fulcrum between the effort force and the resistance force. Second class levers. They are levers that have the resistance force are between the effort force and the fulcrum. So what's the meaning of second class lever? They are levers that have the resistance force between the effort force and fulcrum. Like this, the effort force and the fulcrum, and in the middle the resistance force. Some example for the second class levers. Second class levers: bottle opener, some example for the second class lever: bottle opener, nutcracker, and stapler, wheelbarrow. Third class levers. What's the meaning of third class levers? They are levers that have the effort force between the resistance force and fulcrum. So in the middle is effort force. Effort force in the middle between the fulcrum and resistance force. Third class levers like ice holder, hockey bat, tweezers, manual broom, and fishing hook. Each of tweezers, ice holder, and sweet holder are composed of two third class levers. Ice holder is a third class lever. Why? Because it has the effort force between the resistance force and fulcrum. So we can determine the type of lever by: first, determine the position of an effort force, resistance force, and fulcrum. Number 2, identify the midpoint of lever. 3, determine the type of lever as in the following table. The midpoint and the type of levers. If the midpoint is fulcrum, so the lever will be the first class lever. If the midpoint is the resistance force, so it will be the second class lever. If the midpoint the effort force, so it will be the third class lever. Now it's time for the question. Can you compare between the three types of levers? And see you on the next time. Goodbye.